إنما يخشى الله من عباده العلماء.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، ونصلي ونسلم على الحبيب المصطفى نبينا الهادي صلى الله عليه وسلم. This is the dars of Usool number 29, and we are going to start today in the fourth part, the fourth proof of Sharia, Dalil al-Shari, and it's number 4 because before we talked about Al-Kitab, the book, Sunnah, the Sunnah of Rasulullah, Al-Ijma', the consensus, and now Al-Qiyas. The first 3 of them, to remind you, we said they call it the text proofs. Why they say text proofs? Although any proof of Sharia, all of them, the 18, or some people put it 11, some people take it up to 18, but it's the same thing. So why do they call these 3 the text proofs? Because they are directly extracted from text. There is no place to any other way of extracting hukm. It's from the text. Kitab and the Sunnah, the book, Quran, and the Sunnah, and the Ijma', which is, like we said, it's based on, it has to be heard from Rasulullah or somehow. So this fourth one, Al-Qiyas, is the biggest proof out of the text proofs, out of them. Besides them, this is the major proof that where we can actually extract the ahkam, the rulings using. The Qiyas had a long history in our actually Usool Fiqh, the history of our Usool Fiqh. It had long debates, and to make a long story short, we are going to talk about these kind of differences, but to say a word here that Jumhur and the massive Jumhur, mostly everybody except the Al-Zahiriyya, the people who omitted Qiyas and said Qiyas is not a proof, and we're going to talk about that. We deal with Qiyas as a major and accepted proof in Sharia. What does the word Qiyas mean? Qiyas, when we talk about linguistically and terminology. Linguistically, Qiyas means to evaluate something based on something that is similar to it. Like when we use it all the time in our life, like when you don't have, when you say, oh, I'm going to buy a nice car. So your fellow, he says, oh, like this nice car? You might say, yes, like this one. So this is Qiyas. Or he says, no, it's better than this one. Or no, it's less, a little bit less. So this kind of mental process in the mind is based on Qiyas. It is Qiyas. It is analogical reasoning. It's a reasoning to get a value or understanding something based on something else that is similar to it. So when we talk terminology, it is applying a rule. If we have a case, the Mufti have a case, and this case is based on the text proofs from Quran or from Sunnah, and the Hukm al-Shari, the ruling, the Sharia ruling is known. And he has this case, this happened, the ruling is this. Now, when a new case happens that have the same reasoning, the same reason that the first, the text proof based the ruling on, if you have the same reasoning, then this new case should take the same rulings as the main one. So this original case is called al-asl, the origin, because it's the origin. And the second thing is, what is the ruling of the origin? We know the ruling of the origin because it's the origin. That's what we are going to make qiyas upon. Why this? What is the reasoning behind this specific case and the ruling? Why this ruling happened? Because of that. There is a reasoning, sabab. Then the new case, we look at the new case. If we found out that the reasoning is the same in that new case, then we say then the ruling is the same. That's what is the, and we call this cause or this reasoning, we call it the al-illa, the underlying cause. So if they have a common underlying cause, then this is illah. Then we attribute the two together, and when the conclusion could be affirming or it could be negating. No, it's not the same. Khalas, done. It's not the same. So, so this kind of reasoning, this kind of analogy is based, in fact, on a qaida, a very important ruling in our in the understanding and the methodology of forming the way we understand things. And it's common between humans. It is not, we said before that Usool Al-Fiqh is not about, most of it is not about actually Muslims, because it's global. The rulings and they are global. So what is the base of this kind of analogy? It is qaida, it is a ruling that says الجمع بين المتماثلين والتفرقة بين المختلفين, that the mind join what is similar and distinguish and differentiate between what is different. Any two like things, two alike things, the minds join them. If two different things, you don't join them together in your perception. So so this ruling is very, very important and essential in our understanding and our way of thinking. How did we establish this one? Actually, like we said, we take it from, it's common, it's global for humans, but we as Muslims always go back to what Rasulullah said, or what Sahaba said based on their life with Rasulullah, which, because the Sunnah of Sahaba is the Sunnah of Rasulullah, because they lived with him. They know how he say things, how we think, and this kind of thing. So Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu wrote a letter, a very distinguished letter that is being actually studied not only by Arabs but even in the international law and by the Westerns, which is the letter he wrote to Abi Musa al-Ash'ari. He wrote it إلى أبي موسى الأشعري. Abi Musa al-Ash'ari is a big Sahabi, huge Sahabi. He's Yemeni, and he was one of the biggest Sahaba, like Sayyidina Umar, like Sayyidina Uthman, like those, that level. Sayyidina Umar appointed Abu Musa al-Ash'ari as the legal advisor, the qadi, the judge for the Muslims in Yemen. And he wrote a letter to him to advise him of what he expected from him. That letter is so important. Ibn al-Qayyim wrote a whole volume based on that letter. And like I said, it is being studied in many, because Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anh he was like, subhanallah, like genius. It's one of the most important documents in law. What did he say in this letter? He said a lot of great advice. Like he started actually with very important thing. He said, أما بعد فإن القضاء فريضة محكمة وسنة متبعة. Judiciary is an established obligation and a followed sunnah, to make a judge, to appoint a judge, to have qada, judiciary authority. He said, therefore, understand well what has been conveyed to you. الفهم. He said, understand what's conveyed. Understand the Kitab and Sunnah. So it's based on understanding. It's based on your brain. You have to understand. If you follow, if the proofs are only the text, then what he mentioned here to understand, it's not complete. That's why he said, well, فافهم فيما أدلي إليك به. Understand what's been conveyed to you. شفت؟ فإنه لا ينفع كلام لا ينفع تكلم بحق لا نفاذ له. Because if you speak and you don't have the authority to dictate, it's not useful. Keep talking. And this is what we see actually around us. For speaking the truth is of no benefit if it is not enforced. Now he starts the advice. He said, treat people equally in your sitting. آسي الناس في مجلسك. آسي means make them alike. You don't bring, if somebody of power or money, don't make him sit closer to you and put the poorer guy behind. Don't do that. People are the same. If one come to you as a judge and make a complaint against a big character in your clientele, in your people, this big guy, he comes and sit beside the guy who made complaint. It doesn't matter who is this guy and who is this guy. آسي الناس في مجلسك وفي وجهك وقضائك. في وجهك وقضائك. And your judgment, in your facial expression, don't smile to the rich guy and just being tough face on the other guy. In your expression and your judgment and your ruling, so that no nobleman may hope for your partiality, nor any weak person despair of your judgment, of your justice. Very, unprecedented 1400 years to have this. Europe were, anyways. He said, now he given more. He said, the burden of proof rests upon the claimant. See, Sayyidina Umar put the basis for the law actually. He said, وَالْبَيِّنَةُ عَلَى مَنِ ادَّعَى. But Rasulullah actually, he said that in hadith. الْبَيِّنَةُ عَلَى مَنِ ادَّعَى وَالْيَمِينُ عَلى مَنْ أَنْكَرَ. الْبَيِّنَةُ عَلى مَنِ ادَّعَى. The proof, the burden of proof rests on the claimant, and the oath is upon one who denies. And the one who said, no, I didn't do that, he has to oath. You take oath from this, you ask the claimant to bring if he doesn't bring the bayina, khalas, there is no case. Reconciliation is permissible. Reconciliation between people is permissible. It's actually the best thing to do. Except a conciliation that makes a halal haram and makes a haram halal. That's not a reconciliation. It's not accepted. You cannot, if you said, okay, we accept that, but this is against Sharia, I said, no, you can't accept that. You cannot do that. It's not up to you. It's up to Sharia. And that's the difference between the man-made law and the Sharia laws. Reconciliation is permissible among Muslims, except a reconciliation that renders lawful what Allah has made unlawful, or renders unlawful what Allah has made lawful. So, and then he said, whoever claims an absent right or alleges evidence, appoint for him a fixed period within which he may produce it. If somebody said, this happened and this happened from this guy and stuff, give him time, certain time to get his evidence. If he brings it, you give him his rights. If he presents his proof and it's legal, you give him his right. If he couldn't bring it, you just dismantle this case. It doesn't go any further. Because giving him time is actually giving him extended, giving him a good time to prove justice. So he said, whoever claims an absent right or alleges evidence, appoint for him a fixed period within which he may produce it. If he produces it, award him the right. But if he fails to decide the case again, just to fails, you dismiss the case that he established. This is more effective in removing excuses and clearer in dispelling uncertainties. To give the time, to allow this time. He said, never let a judgment which you rendered yesterday, this is so important, that you rendered yesterday, never let a judgment which you rendered today prevent you, if you later considered your opinion and are guided to what is correct, from returning to the truth. If you rendered a ruling, and then the second day you found that this is not correct, don't make it stop you from going back and say, oh, I was wrong, I am taking back the ruling, this is the right ruling. Don't make it, because you know how humans are. They don't want to say that they are wrong. and it's hard on them. And why that? And nothing returning to the truth is better than persisting in the wrong or the falsehood. العودة إلى الحق أفضل من الإصرار على الباطل. Then he said والمسلمون عدول بعضهم على بعض. Muslims are upright witnesses against one another. They are the same, except one known for giving false testimony. Except the people who committed false testimony before, then the Islamic law tells that he cannot make a testimony again, and he can't stand upright beside the other Muslims in judgment. So Muslims are upright witnesses against one another, except one known for giving false testimony or who has been punished with one of the prescribed penalties, or somebody, somebody who actually had one of the hudud performed upon him. He committed a major sin, so that cannot stand in front of the judge upright with other Muslim. Or a person ظنينا أو كان ظنينا في الولاء. كان ظنينا في الولاء, or one whose testimony is suspected suspected because of loyalty or cross kinship. Like they say, the wife cannot testify against the husband because she can falsify, or a brother, or something like that. Don't take that. ظنينا في الولاء means we doubt that he might, because of his relation with the person, might play with the testimony. And then he said ثم الفهم فيما أدلي إليك. Again, see, ثم الفهم. This is what I said. الفهم فيما أدلي إليك. Then understand, indeed understand well what has been presented to you. Whatever the evidence given to you, look at it, study it, understand it. شفت? Understand it. فيما أدلي إليك مما ورد عليك مما ليس فيه قرآن ولا سنة. See, this is the point we are talking about here, guys. He said, indeed understand what has been presented to you in cases concerning which neither the Quran nor the Sunnah contains an explicit ruling. Here is the proof of Qiyas from Sahabi, from the biggest Sahabi, one of the biggest two. So he said there are rulings, there are cases that are going to be presented to you. There is no Quran and Sunnah. It doesn't exist, this case. What do? He said al-fahm. Understand what is in front of you. And that is what Qiyas. Understand. See what is the origin that you can make similar, because without understanding you cannot do this process in your brain. So he said understand in cases that there is no Quran, explicit Quran or Sunnah. Compare such matters with one another. See, here is the Qiyas. Compare one with one another. He said it very explicitly. He said مما ليس فيه قرآن سنة ثم قايس الأمور عند ذلك. قايس, he used the word قياس actually. ثم قايس الأمور عند ذلك. Use the قياس at this. use this differentiate between the different and reconciliate between the similar. ثم قايس الأمور عند ذلك واعرف الأمثال, and know the like and the not like, whatever alike and whatever not alike. And ثم اعمد فيما ترى إلى أحبها إلى الله وأشبهها بالحق مما يوجب الله به الأجر مما يوجب به الأجر. So he said, recognize their similarities, then determine which of them is more beloved to Allah and more closely resembles the truth, for that is what earns Allah's reward. Here you go. In this paragraph, starting understand and indeed understand, actually he put the basis for the basis for this kind of understanding of the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, أَفَنَجْعَلِ الْمُسْلِمِينَ كَالْمُجْرِمِينَ مَا لَكُمْ كَيْفَ تَحْكُمُونَ. See, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave this actually rule in many of the Quran. أَفَنَجْعَلِ الْمُسْلِمِينَ كَالْمُجْرِمِينَ. Would we in fact make the Muslims like the mujrim, the kafir? We cannot make the Muslim like the kafir. There is no Muslim like a kafir. Why? Because these are different. So if they are different, you differentiate between them. You don't reconciliate. You don't look at them. You don't take the same ruling. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, أَفَلَمْ يَسِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ. Haven't they walked across the land on earth so they can see what happened to people before them? Allah has destroyed them. دمر الله عليهم وَلِلْكَافِرِينَ أَمْثَالُهَا. And the kuffar will get the same result. See? So in lots of ayahs of Quran, it is in fact the ruling of this kind of this is the base of Qiyas. Now we are going to mention here something here we are going to take kind of a look into, because when we talk about Qiyas, when we talk about Qiyas and talk about analogy, always the Aristotle analogy comes up because it's very famous. It's older than the Qiyas in Sharia. It was established like 500 years before Christ, before Al-Masih alayhi salam, and it has certain way of looking at things, and it's different than Qiyas al-Shari, our Qiyas. And this is what we are going to actually study and see examples of this one, and see what our scholars said about it, and how specifically Ibn Taymiyyah put it in two of his greatest books, inshallah. Next time, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.